Hey, Patrick here. I'm going to go through and review an Azalea mirror that I played. And normally this matchup is kind of lame, and one of the Azaleas just runs away with it and locks the other one out, and it's a non-game. But I do think that there are like a subset of these Azalea mirrors that are just kind of clowny and fun and interesting. And this is one of those games. I had an absolute blast playing this game, and I'm pretty excited to go back and review it because I remember it being just kind of a stupid little like you'll see. There's some kind of clowny stuff that happens in this one. Yeah, going through the equipment, I'll start off by saying that it's the standard loadout, except for I prefer swapping out the bracers for the long draw. So I bring in the long draw to help dodge the first red in the ledger or dodge a red in the ledger, because that is the key card to this matchup. If one Azalea just starts looping a red in the ledger or finds all the red in the ledgers, then they just steamroll the game. They just have infinite momentum and are ahead by like one or two turn cycles, and it's a non-game. But long draw lets you break that cycle by if you have an arrow in arsenal and you activate this, then you can get around the restriction of a single action point. So that's why I bring it in. And then that standard loadout. Going down to the cards that I bring in though. So I need to bring in 10 for this matchup. And I bring in 3 Infecting Shot. This is just a 1 for 7. It's a good rate, and that's why it's here. Also bringing in the big one, which is Red in the Ledger. This is 100% a Red in the Ledger matchup. If you can be the first one to find your first Red in the Ledger, then your chances of winning just tick up by like 20%. This card is insane in this matchup. It's going to win you games. It's going to make a lot of non-games in the mirror. So bring this in, play it, look for it. It's great. Also bringing in 3 Remorseless, and this is it's just here as like a 1 for 6, or sorry, not a 1 for 6. It says it's a 1 for 5, but the bottom line of text can sometimes generate like 5 points of value. So this could be something like a 1 for 10 or even like a 1 for 11, depending on how many actions they play. So this is something that if you're playing, if it's played against you as in the Azalea mirror, then just be aware of should you block this out to get better value on the turn. So just do the math beforehand when thinking about your blocks and your pumps. And then finally, I'm bringing in 1 Sleep Dart. I don't think this slot really matters. It could be like any arrow. The turning off the hero ability doesn't really matter. It's not relevant text. It's just a 1 for 5. I could bring in honestly, I think I should probably bring in Fatigue Shot. I'm starting to side those in, but I don't think I have them in this configuration of the deck that I played at the time. So it's Sleep Dart. But yeah, that's the board. So let's hop into it. Here we are in game, and I win the die roll and choose to go first. I think in this matchup, you always choose to go first, just because you want to be digging deeper. You want to be finding your disruption first. So going first allows you to do that. Don't feel pressured to shoot an arrow and let them filter. Feel free to just blind flip. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just blind flipping. I'm not really planning on playing my Red in the Ledger, but seeing the Codex, I should just play that out. It doesn't do anything right here. It kind of sucks that it is like a virtual copy of Red in the Ledger gone, but I drew into one, so I'm happy with this. Here we go. It's nice that I found Red in the Ledger, and I think it's your arsenal here, just to play around them possibly having Red in the Ledger. So yeah, this is how you play around Red in the Ledger, is by putting an arrow into arsenal, so you can then long draw to play out the effect. And notably, they don't have long draw, so they don't have that luxury. They don't have the ability to play around my Red in the Ledger as efficiently. But let's see what they do. I didn't let them filter at all, so they're just going through their turn blind. They're also underneath the Frailty because I played out the Codex, so they can't do like a bracers into Bolt and Shot, otherwise like it won't have go again because it has a -1, so it'll be back to its base. And they're thinking about what to pitch, apparently. Maybe it's just slow. Okay, that seemed like a pretty easy one to pitch, honestly. Okay. So I'm not... Ooh, I was going to say I'm not going to block the Bolt and Shot, but they do have the Knock the Death Whistle. Okay, so they just get their Rend the Ledger. So they got to the first Rend the Ledger, but good heads up play for me by playing around this and putting my own Rend the Ledger into arsenal. So I think the clown show has already kind of started here. For my side, I think I should be blocking with... it depends if I want to Arsenal or not. I think I could no block here, actually, and then look to Arsenal the Remorseless. I think that's a pretty fair play, because I'm going to have to spend 3 cards to long draw plus shoot the red in the ledger. Because I don't want to shoot the red in the ledger for 4, because that means they can just put, like, Skullbone plus a card, and then just still have a 4-card hand to play. And I really don't want that to happen. I want to be shooting in for 8 off of my red in the ledger and force them to give me multiple cards, because it will not be dominated. So there, giving the Searing Shot is fine. Looking back at this, I think I should have held... I think I should have held a card, preferably the Remorseless, and probably Arsenal it. This was also a phase where I was testing Searing Shot over Drill Shot, so there's no Drill Shot on my list right now. And for this matchup, that's better. Drill Shot is not great in this matchup, so Searing Shot is good here. But you can see I did exactly that. Pop the long draw after blocking with it, so it's doing exactly what I wanted to. I'm coming for 8 here, and I feel like they should just give me like 3 cards and then shoot whatever they have in their arsenal. Okay, so I'm going to get Tunic here. Sweet. I expect this game to go... So normally Agramirs are like pretty quick, but with Azalea it's kind of funny because we're going to be time walking each other. So the game can kind of draw out a little bit more just because we're time walking each other. So I would not be surprised if Tunic got to 2 activations. So I really value it, but it is still Blade Break, right? Here, it's giving the opportunity to play out whatever... Oh, yeah, I was gonna say they can play out like 2 things here, but this is weird. I don't know why they're gambling on Skullbone. It's like, it's paying off. That's fine. Like they're gambling on their opt here because they didn't know their top card. So the clownery is already, showing itself here. They've managed to dominate 2 red in the ledgers. They got this one blind, or like they just found it off the top with the opt, right? They opted with the Skullbone. They left it on top. They flipped into it. And here, I think I'm happy to just give up my equipment plus the Infecting Shot. And then on my turn, just go Seek. Yeah, Seek, and then pitch into the Death Dealer to float 1, and then Codex game back the red in the ledger. I'm giving them their own red in the ledger, but they won't be dominating it, and they won't be able to pump it up either. And they won't be able to keep any cards, so here they should just be giving me like 3 cards and then shooting their own red in the ledger, I think. Sorry, they should be giving me 2 cards and then shooting their own red in the ledger, because they need to discard here. So let's see what they do. So they discarded Battering Shot. Cool, coming for 8. And I think they should just give me 2 cards. Okay, so they should have this indicates that they have 2 Rain Razors. The way they're playing, they should have 2 Rain Razors in hand. So they're coming for 4 here. So I think I should go... definitely block with the 2 knocks, and then... Yeah, block with the 2 knocks, and then probably Arsenal the Codex of Frailty. I think that looks pretty good. Sorry, block with the 2 knocks plus the Lace with Frailty, and then Arsenal the Codex of Frailty. I think that looks good to me. Because I don't want to play the Codex of Frailty and give them another red in the ledger. And I'm thinking here, what am I going to do? I definitely need to give at least... I was going to say at least 2 cards, but I need to have the read that they have 2 Rain Razors. Otherwise, they would have blocked with another card because it wasn't dominated. So, yeah, they have 1. They pump it over. Cool. And they didn't have a second. Okay, so, and they discarded a red in the ledger. So that's just a mistake from their side. They should have blocked with that red in the ledger instead of letting it get destroyed. So they just leaked 3 value. And I also misplayed by blocking like a goon and not putting 3 cards in front of that because they gave me a read that it was 2 Rain Razors. So shame on both of us for poor play. But you can see this game, is already just devolving into we're shooting like the same. Like they found 3 red in the ledger so far. They blind flipped into 1. They've dominated 2. They discarded 1. And I think I've played the same one twice now. So I have 1 engrave. Like this game is just devolving so quick into just this clown show. And I was having a hoot going through this game when I was playing it. So here we go. They're coming in for 11 off fatigue shot, and I don't care. They don't have any meaningful disruption staple to this, right? Like I'm fine to just take 11 here. My hand's kind of crummy though, so I could definitely see an argument for not. I could definitely see an argument for blocking out here, and I think that's what I'm thinking about. So I really don't want to Codex here. I don't want to give them access to another Ren the Ledger. Like I know that I have 2 more in the deck, and the only way they're going to play more is if I play on my Codex of Frailty. So I think I'm happy to just blind Azalea to get rid of the Codex, and then look to, yeah, and then look to, so I should probably read the glide path, then Azalea. Or not. Okay. I think I should have opted first. I don't see why I didn't. Yeah, that's weird by me. Okay, well, here I think I'm just looking to, I mean, it's not gonna like punish me because I'm gonna shoot Endless Arrow, come in for 3, and then snaps. Sorry, coming for 1. Yeah, okay, that's kind of bad. I definitely should read the glide path there to force this through, because I do want this arrow back, I think. Because now they just get the free block with a skull bone. Ooh, that's such a weird cycle for me. I feel like I should have either blocked with 1 more card, or I should have pumped with the read the glide path there. Yeah, I don't like the way that all played out. Well, I find another pump, and that's fine because I'm going to be able to shoot my Amplifying Arrow for 6. Sorry, not 6. It's going to have 2 pumps, so it's going to be coming in for 9 because it's under Frailty. But I won't have an arsenal. So they should just take this. There's no on hit here. They just have a 4-card hand. And yeah. So bad cycle by me. I think I should have blocked with 1 more card, or I should have pumped the Endless Arrow on the first with the read the glide path. So really, really weird stuff for me there. So that's a good learning turn for me. So two good learnings so far, actually, looking back at this. And there, I don't care about Sleep Dart. They hit me with Frailty. I don't care. I'm not blocking that out. I want to play my Red in the Ledger. I'm just going to, yeah, draw into another Red in the Ledger. So I want to play Red in the Ledger here. I'm coming in for 10 because it's double pump 5 base under Frailty, so 10. And they're just forced to, yeah, I think they should just block out like, here I could see them blocking with 3 cards, arsenaling. So yeah, if they do this, they arsenal their Codex. That means that they get access to their Codex of Frailty. I think they only have 1 more Codex in the deck, so they only have the Codex that they're putting in Arsenal plus the Codex that's in their deck as access to more Red Ledgers. But maybe they're overvaluing Red the Ledger at this point in the game because they just give me a 5-card hand. Yeah, I think I like what they just did. Okay with it. But fortunately, I found more Red in the Ledgers. Like we both found all of our Red in the Ledgers at this point. This is my 4th Red in the Ledger I've played. They played 2. They've seen 3. Like this is just an absolute like clown show of a game, and I'm all for it. I'm liking the way they play this out. Yeah, so they block 9. That's fine. I'll just not play my Rain Razors. Like I don't want to push over 1 damage and stop them from like codexing here. I don't care. Plus, like in theory, like I don't know what they have in Arsenal. So they get back like a red Bolton shot, I think. I think that's the only 0 cost they have in the grave, if I'm going off memory. Yeah, I thought they had a red Bolton shot. Why are they shooting a yellow? So there, I think they're leaking 1 value. Like I'm I could have sworn I saw a red Bolton Shot in their grave there. So weird stuff from them. On my side, though, I think I'm just trying to math out if there's a way that I should block with like the Codex of Bloodrot. But I do think that just playing the Codex of Bloodrot and then, yeah, I think playing the Codex of Bloodrot and then shooting the searing shot with the double pump and then reaction speed the Rain Razors is just the better way to do this. I definitely don't want to blind Azalea. If I hit a non-arrow, then the turn just dies and I'm just like IP5 myself, or like IP4 myself. So yeah, playing this well, that's good. Coming in for 9 on hit, I will put them under, coming in for 11 on hit, I'll put them under Seek and Destroy and then ping them for 1 with the Searing Shot. They have the Bloodrot, so they're an effective 2. And right here, I should lose the game. I believe that on a 5-card hand, Azalea should be able to grab enough tempo to do 12 damage. So they blind flip, and they're immediately punished. Knock is the worst hit in their deck. So whatever they had in Arsenal, unless it was a knock, I think is a mistake. And even here, they should be grabbing an arrow that, so like if they're gonna load in a 1-cost arrow, then they should grab a 0-cost arrow and put it on top. If they have a 0-cost arrow they're gonna load in, then they should put a 1-cost arrow on top and shoot me with that. So like I think I lost the game right here. I should just lose. Because they should have an arrow in hand. Like how they play this, they should have an arrow in hand. Otherwise, they shouldn't have blind flipped. So they're really thinking here. I'm curious what they have in hand because I remember that I vaguely remember the end of this game being like, I'm dead here. Seeing these life totals, seeing that they have a 5-card hand, I remember just getting the read and be like, oh, I'm just dead. There's no way that I live this turn. So they're really thinking about this. Give them a, are you there? Just give them a poke, see if they quit the game. If they just like rage quit. Okay, so they put an Infecting Shot on top. I have the red Bolton Shot in Arsenal. And if they don't present lethal, I will present guaranteed lethal. I will quad pump the Bolton Shot and shoot them. Even if I block with one of these, and then I get to go probably block with the Lace with Inertia, and then opt, then double pump. Triple pump. Okay, so they had Seek and Destroy. Okay, so in hand, they had Codex of Frailty, Seek and Destroy, Lace, and Premed. And then they had that face down Arsenal that I don't know about that they flipped away. And the only arrow that they have in grave is Bolton Shot. So I think did they misplay here? If they had a pump in Arsenal, they should have played it. If they had an arrow in Arsenal, then they should have shot it. And maybe it was a 1-cost arrow in Arsenal, actually. Maybe it was that. But if it was a 1-cost arrow, I think they still should have just shot it with the triple pump. And they should have just, yeah, I think they should have done that. I think that's better, right? Well, on my side, though, I just win now. Like, I just get to present, 15 or something like that? I managed to find the only way to lose this game, and that's to misclick my friggin' ability instead of shooting the arrow. So I asked to undo. That's just one of those things I never do in paper, right? I'm never gonna accidentally activate Azalea. I will just I had like a misclick. So yeah, they're nice enough to let me undo that. Cool. Coming for 15, and that should be GG. Hey, here we are in the post game, and I thought that was an absolute blast of a game to watch back. I was kind of hesitant when I matched into this guy that it was just gonna be kind of a lame Azalea mirror, but I think I found value in playing that game. I think there is like a good set of mistakes and efficiency errors that we both made, and looking back at it, I think I can take them away and hopefully apply those to my like in-game or my in-person games. So it was good practice at the very least and good review for me, and hopefully it was enjoyable to watch back as well. So I just want to go through and highlight a few of the mistakes that we both made. I think we both made some pretty glaring errors in review. So I'll start with myself. And I'll say that the first mistake that I kind of caught was when they came in with when they didn't block the two cards with two cards to shoot the red in the ledger themselves. I think I shot in a red in the ledger. It was coming for like 8 or something like that, and it was non-dominated. So they could have put more cards in front of it if they had block value, but instead they chose to keep 2 extra cards in hand, and then came in with the red in the ledger for 4. So that should have been a read on my side that those last 2 cards were both Rain Razors. I should just assume that they weren't going to block with those. Otherwise, they're just leaking damage for no reason. So I should just have the read that they were Rain Razors. It turns out that only one of them was a Rain Razors, and the other one was another Red in the Ledger, and then it got discarded to Seek and Destroy. So that brings me into, and like to just say, like, I could have blocked with the 2 knocks, as well as I think probably just the Codex of Frailty, and then shot in the Bolt and Shot with the Lace with Inertia. I think that was like my play if I wasn't on a Red in the Ledger. I think that's pretty good. I don't think I wanted to play the Codex of Frailty and then give them another Red in the Ledger, because they had them in the grave at that point. So that's a misplay on my side, not blocking, and I think it's a misplay on their side for holding on to that Red in the Ledger, which was like the extra card, and then having to discard it to Seek and Destroy. I think they should just block with that. So that's just, they might have been trying to like next level me with making me think that they had 2 Rain Razors, but that's just a misplay. I think they should just get the 3 block value and not try to get another card out of my hand. But we both misplayed on that cycle. And then next, there was the turn where they got me with the Fatigue Shot for 8. I think it was like the following turn cycle or something, or two cycles later, something like that. They came with Fatigue Shot for 11. I didn't block it. That's correct. And then I shot in, I blind flipped into an Endless Arrow and came in for 1 off that. I think I should have played out the Read the Glide Path before doing the flip, just to see if I was going to flip to something good. And then even after I flipped, I should have played I still had an opportunity to correct my play by playing out the Read the Glide Path to pump it up to 4, so as to make sure that it came back to hand, because they just free blocked out the Skullbone. And then my turn just kind of sucked from there. And I think I leaked like maybe like 3 or 4 value just by doing that like silly play from my side instead of getting the Endless Arrow back to hand. So I think that's a misplay at my side. And you saw the life totals at the end there where they were at 4 and they had the Bloodrot, but they were at 4. And if I just presented 4 more damage, then they wouldn't have had the luxury of being able to play that hand the way they did. So I think that's a misplay on my side. And then that brings me to like the final misplay that I caught there, which was on their side. It was the last turn of the game, or the second last turn of the game, where they were at 4 at the Bloodrot, and I was at 12, and they had a 5-card hand. Like they had an arsenal plus 4 cards in hand, and they blind flipped into knock. I think that they didn't need to blind flip. I think that unless the card was another knock, I think that any card in arsenal is better than, I think it's just better than trying to blind flip there. I get they were trying to like, I get they're maybe trying to like blind flip into dominate, which is incorrect. But if it's a 1-cost arrow, then they can just pitch the Codex of Frailty to triple pump, shoot the 1 cost. If it's a 0 cost, then they just triple pump, go again, and then play the Codex of Frailty to load in a 0 cost and then kill me. So like they had basically whatever their arsenal was. Even if it was a pump, then they just quad pump and then they Codex of Frailty, getting back the, I think, Bolt and Shot and then kill me. So like they had so many ways to just win the game from that point, I think. And I don't think they needed to blind flip there. It was like, yeah, unless it was another knock on Arsenal. Or I don't think it could be another Codex of Frailty, because I think we saw all of them at that point. So yeah, that's like the only thing I could think would be, and we already saw the Spire sniping. So yeah, I think that was a misplay on their side. I think they should just kill me there. I think they took a wrong line. But it's tough to say because I don't know what it was in their arsenal. So maybe it wasn't, but it really looked like it. But yeah, that was a really fun game for me to review. I had a blast. I think there's a few, like I pointed out a few of the mistakes that I made there and that my opponent made. So I'm going to take those as learnings for this matchup and hopefully not make those in a meaningful game. But yeah, this was an absolute blast.